confirmed though, and again, the groups for them will be released as the basically. I hope by tonight we'll have all of the groups released. But again, this is the problem of trying to organize a tournament at fairly short notice. That waiting for responses from people can take a little while. Anyways, we have to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Zerg player is going to be Bly from Team Expert. And to the top left-hand side of the map is going to be our red Terran player. It is going to be aLive. Now guys, I know you don't like Metal Mondays, but what I've got to say is that the people who requested Metal Mondays did do a lot of donating in the past few days. So I mean, you know, I've got to give them something. They've been supporting the stream like crazy, so I had to give them some at some point. It's okay, we'll get back to some good music tomorrow, guys. By the way, Jimmy Jamjar, sorry, I didn't actually write your thing for the tree. Did you say you wanted a flat ball circle thing? Is that what you said? I think that's what you said. Can you just confirm it? I'll write it out. I completely forgot to do that. I'm so sorry. My apologies. Got caught up in the StarCraft. Just too much good StarCraft going on. Anyways, Bly aLive, TvZ, best of 3 of course, and well, of course it is Bly, which means that we could expect some absolutely ridiculous games here. I mean, these are, this is one of the players who will play the wackiest stuff you've ever seen, the wackiest games of StarCraft you can ever expect in your life. He just does things a little bit differently to everyone else, and he has some of these builds which just look so different, are really just kind of super crazy compared to what you might kind of expect from a CVT. So we'll see what Bly wants to do here, as we see a very standard opening coming in from our Terran player. There's going to be a Reaper into a Reactor and a Factory, so it is going to be a factory-based opening. That's important to note, especially nowadays, where there is so many different ways to open in this TvZ matchup, because Cyclones as an opening are becoming more popular. Hellions are obviously always been a popular opening. We might even see some mech from aLive here. I mean, it is Echo, which is a fairly decent map for mech. It's 3 bases, super easy to hold. And then pushing towards the 4th base can be done fairly easily and fairly without issue as well. So, going to be interesting to see if that is what something that aLive might want to go in towards. We'll see here very soon. He is on double gas. It is going to be the double Cyclone opening. And is there going to be a second factory or anything? I mean, I guess not just yet actually, because he is building this Cyclones. I forget that Cyclones take gas, and so much gas at that when they're when they get reacted out, right? So here we've seen this Reaper just sitting down towards the bottom right hand side, waiting to move forwards once again. We're going to see these couple of Cyclones coming out. And here we've seen the lair about halfway done. So lair about halfway done. And the Reaper just continue to move around here in the center. So yeah, Reaper just moving around a little bit, and it's interesting. He's actually making another Reaper, so really kind of a lot of kind of different Harassi-based units in the early stages of this. This Reaper is going to go down, which you imagine is a bit of a shame considering he made a second Reaper. He probably did want to have a couple, right? So just going to be seeing these couple of Cyclones popping out and going to be starting to move forwards here for the rest of the units as well. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Cryptiums pushing forward also. So a couple of Cryptiums continue to go forwards now. And aLive with Cyclones and Hellions starting to move down towards the lower right. Spire starts up from Bly, so it's a fairly fast Spire, and that's what the fast lair was for here. So the question is, can he hold off this aggression? Because he doesn't really have that much to defend with right now. He's got a couple of Lings and some Queens, and that's about it. Spinecrawl's coming up on the high ground. But these Cyclones just get so much damage done. He's going to try and start surrounding these with these Zerglings. More Lings coming out, and well, he is beginning to push this away. It's actually been a pretty decent defense from Bly, considering he didn't really have very much at the start of this. Queens need to pull back now, probably towards the Spinecrawler. And the Spinecrawler is going to be firing away. And some of these Hellions a couple of these Hellions are going to get up into the main. Actually, 3 of them get into the main. That's problematic, because they will begin to one-shot workers. And they already receive 2 workers killed off here. And Bly not reacting to this at all. 5, 7 workers going down. Finally, some Lings pop. And these Hellions will fall, but 7 workers killed. This was a little bit problematic for Bly, honestly. Like, this could have been a little bit better for him if those Hellions just hadn't quite made it up there. So Spire is about to finish. The thing is, of course, though, that aLive has scouted this as well. He saw the Spire coming up, so he starts an Engineering Bay. He should have turrets up in time. And because Bly's playing like a fairly fast tech, low eco sort of build, it means that he's in this sort of position where, well, yeah, he's in this sort of position where losing workers actually really hurts him. Like, he really is going to be down in the gutter right now in terms of his work count. So this does hurt him quite a bit here. you see this Cloak Banshee is moving in towards the main base. So Cloak Banshee coming on in now. I mean, there is a lair, right? So you should be able to get an Overseer up, and there's Mutas as well to chase this Banshee down, but it's just more damage being done by aLive in these early stages. A few Lings gathering together on this side of the map. The Mutas are heading over the map as well. Still no real response. Finally, the Overseer coming in. The Queens will move in as well, and this Banshee will start to take some damage. But man, 9-10 workers killed. And the thing is, you know for a fact that with these Mutas, he's just not going to get damage done because we saw this with Scouted early. So there's turrets already up and ready. And aLive is once again dominating here today so far. aLive has been very good lately, to be fair. I mean, aLive has been this player who, as of late, has really kind of upped his game a little bit, I feel. You know, you talk about him kind of being a player who we see quite a lot, and we saw him at Home Story Cup. And at Home Story Cup, he really brought it, you know? He really started to be this player who wasn't just a player who was playing in a lot of these online cups, like, you know, the Go for SC2s, the Lay things and whatever, which is basically what he had been for the past few months. He was suddenly this guy who can really compete with some of the very, very best. So that's pretty crazy how good he got so quickly. I guess that's just the difference as well. You don't really recognize it necessarily online all the time, especially if you cast them across server and stuff like that. You don't really always realize just how good someone is until they go to an event, and it's the first event we've seen him at for a long time, and suddenly he's just kind of killing people left, right, and center. It's absolutely crazy. Anyways, +1 is going to come up here from aLive. He's got Stamina Combat Shield on the way, so his follow-ups are getting set and ready to go here in the very near future. As we're going to be seeing a, well, Glad Reconstitution is just going to be finishing up very shortly. And some roaches just continue to come up here as well from Bly, as we have. I mean, just trying to harass from distance, and I mean, just doing whatever they can get done. I mean, even little bits and pieces here, it does add up. And I mean, he needs anything right now to really start clawing his way back into this. He actually has Bly a lot of gas in the bank, which is interesting. I guess he's going to morph in a lot of Ravagers and maybe just try and go for a big Roach Ravager attack here in the near future, but has he just left it a little bit, too long, I guess? Well, potentially. Marines, Cyclone, a couple of tanks moving forwards right here from aLive. Already going to be stopping to pick off an Overlord, or not even stopping, he just leaves a few Marines to pick off this Overlord. Everything else continues moving forward. Cyclones will take a bit of damage from the Mutas initially, as Bly is just spamming out Roaches, and again, oh, he's actually about to hit a supply block. Not a great time to get supply blocked, because look at all that gas he could be utilizing on Ravager production and more. This is really not a pretty situation. As we're going to see the Roaches trying to come forward here at the front already. Has to be careful, that tank is going to do a lot of damage from the bank. Now actually 2 tanks sieged up and ready to go here. One of them will unsiege and continue to push on forwards. Muna's picking off something there to the right hand side, not exactly sure what that was. Maybe seeing a Slang Crawler starting to poke away as well at some of these Marine/Marauders. Got more Corrosive Bowels coming down, and just little bits of damage here and there. Another Corrosive Bowl hitting a Marine or so. And a couple more Cyclones, Marines, and Marauders from aLive still moving down towards this bottom right-hand side of the map. A couple more Cyclones, a couple more Ravagers dropping those Bowels once again. And here we go, actually. There's actually quite a lot of Ravagers. Is it going to be enough? They start to go down so quickly. Actually manages to kill the Medivacs with these connections. And just some Marauders left over. Well, the +1 will definitely help them out here, but I mean, are the Ravagers and Roaches really going to clean this up? I think aLive is going to just about lose out on his arm. Just one tank in the back is still adding so much to this, and a couple more Marauders going to do so much as well. I love the fact he's targeting down that Ravager, because it is the more expensive unit here, so picking that off is super important as we see these Roaches coming forwards again. And, well, I mean, there's still only like 2 Marauders and like a single tank here. This tank is going to go down now. A couple more Cyclones and a lot more Bio Reinforcements coming in here, though, and this should be enough from aLive to push on through to just take down pretty much everything that's left over from Bly. Corrosive Bowl drops, but it's just not going to be enough. I mean, Bly has a few more reinforcements coming through. Here comes some more Medivacs again. Maybe aLive just overstepping his welcome here and does move maybe just a little bit too far forward. Roaches and Ravagers chase. They have the creep spread to give them the mobility as well, and he is going to be able to push these Medivacs away. aLive has to pull back here. And, well, Bly does manage to hold on at the very, very end. What an intense 3 moments, though. As that was a really back and forth fight. Like right at the start, it looked as though Bly was doing good, and he was doing good. He did clean up. Then maybe just needed to kind of back away for a couple of moments, regather himself before going in once again. We see G Medivacs going to fly on in right now. Going to start unloading behind this mineral line. This Queen, well, one of them manages to snipe a Medivac down. The Queen falls already, as Bly has to begin pulling in to respond to this. He has to pull away from this position over here as well. File just misses, unfortunately. And we'll see this Medivac just going to jump in towards the main base, but runs into 2 Spore Crawlers. Good stack defense here to really help defend against it. Medivac's still alive. but it does get it very, very low, and so very easy to pick off now as a queen or whatever else. Bly's still taking a lot of damage though, as you see a Roach popping out, just going to try to help out wherever possible. Another drop over towards the third base now, and more damage being done. Bly very quick to respond over here. Cyclone goes down almost instantly. Second Cyclone taking some damage. Queens have fallen though. How many queens are left on the map? Not a single one. So no injects for Bly. Not just no injects, but even the kind of just lack of anti-air is a bit of an issue for him at this point, because it means he can't really get rid of any of these drops. To drop in the natural expansion too, and just in the last few moments, 15 workers have been killed. Great multitasking out of aLive as he really just pulls Bly apart. So easy to do when the Zerg player is already a little bit all over the place, and then really start putting the pressure on. And you're going to see a lot of Roaches and Ravagers still here in the center though, and I mean, these are kind of numbers which, you know, Bly should win the fights with, so it's still got quite a lot of units to work with. I guess there's just so much reinforcing from aLive back at home. As we see aLive starting to take a third CC as well. It's not even a third CC, it's just a third base with his main base CC, so setting up into that as we have the well, Roaches and Ravagers going in again. His Fire Force is going to stim on forwards. Corrosive Files are dropping down. aLive has to make sure he stays away from those. Roaches still staying in the front to do some tanking, and 1-1 upgrades finish for our Terran player against the just +1 Carapace. It should be our Terran player who's, you know, dominating these fights, but he has to pull a few SCVs in. He's going to land, sit in a Corrosive Bile there, so finally Corrosive Bile's connecting once again. As we're going to be seeing these units continue to stim in towards the left. A couple Corrosive Biles going down once more. Marauder's still being picked away at. This Ravager will go down. One more Ravager here, not going down just yet, but there we go, it is finally chased down. This +1 missile attack will come in from our Zerg player. More Roaches on the way as well. It really is still aLive's advantage, and it has been for a long time in this game. But, you know, Bly's doing a really good job of just hanging in there. You can actually see that Bly's income is pretty crazy in favor. I don't know why that is. I guess just because his opponent's mining out, I guess. And I mean, the natural expansion is mining out too. Army advantage has been pretty aLive favored for a while. I mean, it's been pretty back and forth. It's actually been a lot more even than I thought it would be, so that's pretty interesting. These two medevacs going to run over to the right-hand side here, and these Bioforces starting to unload from the medevacs in the natural expansion. Does Bly have enough to push this back? Well, it doesn't look too promising, as the SCV's going down. There's actually Roaches run across the map, so killing off some workers. Not sure if that's a major issue right now, as we see aLive actually moving his natural command center over to the fourth phase. Okay, then he does need those workers, as he is still just on 2 CCs, but if they're on fresh bases, the workers are still very valuable compared to if they're just long distance mining. This base looks as though it's going to be going down. The Marauders are going to stick around long enough to pick it up, and it is just again aLive taken away slowly but surely. Not just bits and pieces of Bly. Slowly and surely, Bly just falls a bit further behind after every single little drop here we see. Now we're going to be seeing the few bio units to the right hand side, going to be just sat over here. Creep continue to push up through the center of the map as well. A couple of creep tumors over to the right. And Ravager's coming in once again, and again a few more Marines. Marauders just being forced to lift up and back away now, as Bly continues to just stick around so far in this game. A few more Marines and Marauders this time over to the right hand side. Roaches and Ravagers from Bly have just positioned themselves, see what direction they want to try and engage from. Still just game 1 of our second best of 3 of the day here in the WardiTV Christmas Invitational. A few more files, not really going to connect on anything. And as we see, a few more racks just dropping down here from aLive, setting up to kind of go once again. Marauders picking away through a few Roaches on the far right. I mean, at this point though, I think aLive has just built up enough army. Then that's one of the issues, you know, because when Bly kind of is taking a lot of these fights, he's winning because they're small skirmishes where actually his Roach Ravager is just in higher numbers. And that's where Roach Ravager excels, in small, scrappy fights where you very quickly outproduce your opponent in terms of the number of Roaches he can make to how much bio he can make. But in much larger armies, the Roach Ravager just becomes so much less effective compared to a larger amount of bio. And that's why you generally see if someone plays Roach Ravager, you need to kind of see siege tanks or something like that starting to come into play. Otherwise the Zerg player falls into a lot of trouble, and you know, that's what we're sort of getting to right, you know, otherwise the Terran player gets into a lot of trouble. But in much larger numbers, when the Terran player has a good amount of bio, the tank player next on becomes a little bit less important, especially when the Zerg can barely get the Roach numbers up. You can just see there's not going to be enough here as this force pushes forwards. There's just going to be one fight here from aLive to try and end this. A few more Corrosive Biles will buy some time. And here we go, the stim in. This time he'll step forwards. He actually loses a lot of medevacs in the sky to those Corrosive Biles. That was some really sick bile hits from Bly. Unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough to pull him into the game once again. And the drones get pulled in. That'll be him going down. GG. aLive takes game number 1. Hasn't dropped a map yet today. Try and keep count of our baubles. It's a little bit crazy. Alright. Guys, how are we doing? We're all good? Hope so. This is only our second series of 6 here today. As we have to the top right hand side of Varney Research Station, the blue Zerg player. It is Bly. Down to the south side of the map, our red Terran player is going to be aLive. We might notice that there's just more than one base down to this south side of the map, and that is because Bly is going to bring out some proxy hatchery play here in game number 2. Some classic Bly moves to try and tie up this series at this point. So Bly doing what Bly does best. As this hatchery coming up down to the south. Now we're going to be seeing an Overlord. He's obviously moving already down to the south side as well. And obviously back at home, it's a pool into a gas as well. Now, thing is, from aLive, he doesn't scout this. It can be very problematic and very difficult to defend. So this could be very, very problematic in the very near future if we're not going to be seeing aLive finding a way to figure out what's going on, basically. I wonder when he scouts. I wonder if the SCV scouts after the barracks or so. I mean, it's a possibility. He's going to send the SCV out on the map, and it's unlikely that he's going to build his command center down on the low ground. And, yeah, he is indeed going to scout across the map. The thing is, though, because it's Varney, you can see he's already rallied in towards the main base, but because it's Varney, he might not get there, I was going to say, but I guess there's no queen building from Bly, so I guess he will get there. Bly have a couple of lings on the way down to the south side, and, well, we've seen Rotron building up for Bly in the main base right now, so Rotron is a building. As we see a single Zerglin going to start on up here, this Overlord from Bly coming over. That will be the high ground vision he needs to sort of harass over here. As now, actually, this proxy has been found. Okay, well, here we go. First 2 links come up into the towards the main base. Reactor and factory currently building, so nothing really able to be built just yet from aLive in terms of defense. As this one Zerglin gets away over to this right-hand side, we're going to be seeing a few roaches continuing to come on up. So a few roaches continue to pop up right now. You're going to see this bunker just sat up on the high ground. And this Reaper just going to be coming in, just trying to do a little bit more damage. Roach coming forwards here already, picking away at that Reaper. Do see the bunker finishing up though. So that's obviously a big benefit, getting the bunker actually finished. Ravager will start to morph in. And Spy will continue to harass here at the front. Obviously one of the issues of Varney is that, you know, obviously we talked about the advantage of it for Bly, but now the advantage of aLive is also that this CC can still mine at the natural fairly free of charge, you know, without any real issue. A couple more Marines popping out here. Bly will begin to target down some SCVs. You see one, these units getting low. Oh my god, this bunker getting very low. And actually one of the roaches does go down. A little bit of a mistake in the micro there from Bly as he's just trying to grab that Reaper. Doesn't quite happen. Corrosive Power picks off one more SCV, and well, Bly is going to make a few more units here towards the front still. Now, a siege tank on the way out, and the siege tank is kind of an interesting one because, you know, you used to see tank evacs as a very solid way to defend this. With the siege tank and its lack of mobility, well, it's a little bit more vulnerable, but it should still be able to defend this. Just has to be very cautious of the corrosive vials, because if the corrosive vials go off on the tank, it's going to die straight away. And he can reach the tank with corrosive vials, if I'm not mistaken. I think he can pull it far enough forwards to connect, as we see the, you know, if he puts his Ravagers here, he can definitely reach it. It's just a question of does he want to reach it. So it's going to be very, he's going to take some damage while doing that, you know, so let's be a little bit cautious. The Silver Blood to the side gets taken down, but I will hurt a supply block because of it. As here we go, corrosive vials onto the tank. He's pulling it away though already. As, oh, that was nice by aLive. Sort of predicting it happening, unsieging the tank ahead of time. And now the Overlord goes down, so we lose high ground vision. And that definitely will affect Bly for the next few moments, because without high ground vision, life is a lot more difficult for him. This tank sieges up a little bit further forwards, and you can just see here that Bly is toying with the idea of attacking in again. Oh, does not want to lose too much more right now. Another Ravager begins to morph. He's actually losing his lava to the siege tank, so he really needs to get in here and corrosive violet. Already the unsieged does and aLive pulls back in plenty of time. 4 Ravager shots, corrosive violent down, and he will finally break this bunker, so that's a good victory for him. And he can once again take maybe a little bit of high ground vision thanks to this Overlord once more. So that's, you know, super important, because again, without the high ground vision, we can't corrosive fire the bunkers, the keeper, the tanks, and whatever else. A few more barrels coming down. Second tank now, though. And here's the thing, you know, aLive has just had so much time that does this really bother him anymore? There's continued harassment at the front. Well, no, not really. He's got a CC up and back. He's 8 workers ahead. He's dropping double mule. you know, these Ravagers just aren't doing anything super effective. You see this tank going to see Juggernaut is in position of the hatchery right now. So tank in position of the hatchery is why you can see again wants some high ground vision around this side. You can kill this tank off. You can see that again. Bly's being very careful. Always reposition their tanks before Bly gets an opportunity to corrosive bile it down. And the front line here, you can just, if you zoom out a little bit, you can just see this line of defense from aLive is just so solid. How does Bly ever hope to break it? Well, I don't really know. A few corrosive biles, he will actually pick off this siege tank then. So that's a small victory there for Bly. Finally getting something going with this is that Overlord does not quite go down. Stevo going to take a few shots as well. One single tank still in range. Actually, maybe lacking a little bit of defense over to the left-hand side now that one of these tanks has fallen. See a depot falling here once again, and again, just the tank's going to be repositioning, but still, I guess what Bly's hoping for now is that he can stream in with a whole bunch of Zerglings because the wall is down. I guess that's got to be one of his kind of major hopes. It's still a tough situation, though. I don't think the streaming with Zerglings is necessarily going to be that brilliant. And you can get onto top of a bunker. That's the thing, there's just bunkers and all sorts here. Another tank will go down. Little trades like this continue to be very effective here from Bly. He gets another supply block, and again, I mean, he has to keep using these overlords for high ground vision, which is why he keeps hitting supply blocks. aLive also hitting some supply blocks now and then. Again, his autonomy is just so good. He's going to be seeing another, well, actually, bunker and the tank going down. Maybe aLive has been a little bit overzealous with some of these tanks. I mean, he's lost a lot of them now. He's going to see corrosive bars try and pop down depot once again. But I still just positioned at the front, thinking about how he might just be able to break on through here in the next few minutes. Marines still gathering together from aLive as well. A few more corrosive bars going down. The Marines do just pull back. This bunker continuing to come up towards the edge of this base. And a few more Zerglings popping out as well. Overlord still overhead nearby. See one shot there being fired here. This Overlord's going to take a lot of damage. Is just going to get away though. And still we see this continued pressure at the front. We just sit here and wait for Bly to figure out how he's going to break this. Army supplies are still staying very similar. I know that aLive's got a lot more eco. He's got a lot more production now. His tech is rolling. But he is still on a very similar army supply to Bly. So you never know. If a couple of good biles or something, then maybe. I don't really think so, because I mean there's triple tank here, there's double bunker, but I mean you never know in the world of StarCraft what crazy thing is going to happen next, so keep our eyes open, we'll keep on watching. Let's see one medevac going to go all the way up the right hand side already. Ravagers moving forwards, corrosive biles. Well, Ravagers going to be able to get rid of that depot there as well. I'm just going to be seeing this medevac coming all the way up to the northern side of the map. More overlords coming down through the center, and just going to be seeing Ravagers corrosive biling through this barracks here. So corrosive biling through this barracks, going to see the tank sieging up again. And a couple more biles going down, not really connecting on anything. And some more biles super close to getting rid of this barracks, so close. But now the problem is he's losing workers at home. Now he's not even mining any from supply. He's really going to have to start going for this now. He can't wait any longer, but he's attacking up a narrow round into 3 siege tanks, double bunker. The Marines will hold the position on the high ground for a while as well. I mean, there goes one tank. There's so much behind this. And Bly loses everything. Types at the G. And aLive will take his second series of the day already. 2-0 in the group now. And 4-0 in the map score.